You're worried about job security, are you? Honestly, left and right at different times in our career and in different times in our economy, we are seeing ups and downs. People getting hired and everyone starting a new job, and then the times where there's a lot of layoffs. And that makes us really nervous. Well, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. This is something that has honestly kept me going through times of uncertainty and always made me feel like I had a security blanket, and that was freelancing. Even when I was working as a full-time salaried employee, I was able to still freelance on the side, which gave me some skills that I honestly wouldn't have been able to curate otherwise. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you some insight into why freelancing can be your security blanket and how you can get started developing your freelancing career today. So when I left my first role and I started freelancing on the side, I did so on nights and weekends. I had reached out to a colleague. She owned her own training company, one that we had utilized at my first company that, where I had my full-time job, to contract out trainers. We needed additional trainers. I would go to her company to source those trainers. So I emailed her about a month after I left my first job, and I said,
hey, if you have any work nights and weekends, let me know. Happy to take some stuff on the side, some e-learning work.
I couldn't commit to being a trainer and getting out on the road, although that would have been fun and cool because I did enjoy that. I could do stuff nights and weekends and build my e-learning skills. That was my first start in freelancing. And so what I have always felt throughout my entire career, so I've been in the industry since 2009, freelancing since 2011. And I got out of the full-time game in 2018. I've always felt that in my back pocket, I had freelancing to be my security. And I had freelancing, and I always knew I could find a way to make money. I wasn't always gonna be beholden upon someone else. And so that's why I really believe that for so many instructional designers, picking up side projects and side gigs and maybe not making freelancing your full-time gig right out the gate is a way to really make sure that you are continuing to build your skills, getting that job security, and really making a name for yourself and building relationships that could eventually help you when you decide, or if you decide, to go full time. And so one caveat I definitely want to make sure that I set out as a disclaimer right away is, if you are working full-time, you must check all of the contracts that you signed, all of your company's policies. There's policies on non-competes and moonlighting and all of that. Definitely make sure you do a thorough check of that, because some companies do discourage and do not allow for moonlighting or freelancing, things like that. BT dubs love the fact that we call it moonlighting. I think it's a little fun name. I definitely recommend to start by doing that. Now, if you're in the clear, here are my things about why I think freelancing is incredible and what it gave to me. The ability for me to freelance gave me the financial security to do one of the hardest things I think that is out there right now, and that is buying a house. When my husband and I, who was my boyfriend at the time, when we bought our first home, we were both working full-time and we both had businesses. While I was freelancing, he had a plumbing business. I do truly honestly believe that we were able to still live the life that we wanted to live and buy a house in New Jersey, of all states, which if you don't know anything about the New Jersey housing market, it is insanely expensive. For $300,000, you're getting a little shack that you have to completely renovate. Okay. With having freelancing and having our side businesses, we were able to actually go and buy our house and still have the funds to fix it up. So we did some work to it, and we still had the funds to go out to still enjoy our life. We weren't house poor because we had that side income, and it helped boost our income on our mortgage statements. So we were able to afford more house than we probably could have if we were just working off of both of our salaried incomes. And I share this with a lot of friends and things like that are looking to buy homes now. I honestly don't believe that you can buy homes in a lot of areas, especially in today's housing market, with just one income or with even just two incomes. There always needs to be some sort of side hustle or some sort of freelance situation, business on the side. Even if you're able to afford it just on your incomes, especially for people that are starting out. Now, if you're like an anesthesiologist, then ignore me. You can maybe get the house, but then the furniture you have to buy, and if your water heater goes, I can tell you exactly how much that is because my husband does that for a living. You have to pay for that, right? A water heater or something like that, or these major fixes, like if something happens to your roof or to a window, you can't just like wait until you get the money to fix that. You have to find a way to get that money and fix it immediately. Having that freelance side hustle, side money helps to offset those costs, and you have the ability. So maybe it's, you have to put it out on a credit card to fix the water heater, but you know that in a month or two, you can take on a couple of projects and you'll be able to pay that off. I truly believe that to be able to achieve so many of our goals today, you need to have multiple income streams. I mean, don't they say like millionaires have like 7 income streams or something like that? Multiple income streams is definitely where it's at, and freelancing can help you get there. And so maybe buying a home is not something that you are interested in your future. Just think of all the other things in your life that are something that you want, right? Having that side income, whether it's from freelancing or just like little contract work here and there, will be able to help you get there faster, right? So maybe it's a wedding. That's another thing I was able to pay for. My husband and I paid for most of our wedding because we had that income from our businesses. So we're able to do that while paying for a house. We were able to buy a shore house. We were able to, go on vacations. We were just able to save money, and start building that nest egg and invest some of our money because we had that side income. So we could save our salaries for like our necessities. So I would definitely contemplate starting out freelancing if you're looking to find a way to bring in more money. Companies are not going to give you the raises that you know that you need in order to achieve these goals. So you have to start being strategic and creative in order to bring in that money. So what I also loved about freelancing is I was able to build and develop skills that I was not getting at my full-time job. So for example, when I was in my first job, I did some e-learning, but not a ton of it. And then when I went to my second role, it was more in the onboarding space, so I wasn't really going to be doing e-learning. But because of my freelancing and my side hustle, I was actually creating e-learning for software training for pharma companies like over and over and over again. So I was able to develop a lot of skills in e-learning because I was able to take on these side projects. I would not have the skills and the knowledge of Articulate Storyline and Adobe Captivate and Camtasia that I have today if it was not for freelancing. I can promise you that. Because the roles that I took after that, like yes, there was an e-learning component, but that was not my main job. Now I can talk to you about triggers, variables, this and that, and like pull together an e-learning faster than honestly, I'm very fast in Storyline because of those skills that I built up through my freelancing business on the side. And it's those skills that continue to bring in additional clients, additional projects, and really was the reason that I was able to go out full time was my e-learning skills. It wasn't my skills in onboarding. It wasn't my skills in consulting and org development. It was e-learning was that first jump and that first skill that really helped to launch my the business, right? To launch Anchor Training. If it was not for that freelancing gigs and the clients that I was working with outside of my full-time job, I would not have built those skills, and I don't think that I would be sitting here right now with you. Or if I was, Anchor Training would look completely different than it does today. I also found that because I had these freelancing and side projects, I was able to try things that I wasn't able to always do at work, right? It could have been for many reasons, maybe the project wasn't there, or maybe the time wasn't there, the budget or the tools, whatever it was. I was able to do things that I had like seen, some cool tricks, some new solutions, because I was the driver of that project. And I wasn't, the one that was receiving the order from, my manager or the VP or the CEO or whatever the case may be. I definitely think that being able to freelance can help you build your skill while you're working somewhere. And I know that for so many of you transitioning teachers, it is scary because instructional design have a lot of facets. And if you're interested in learning about all the things that instructional designer actually does day in and day out, give this video a thumbs up. So that lets me know that you're interested in that kind of video, and I can definitely get that out next for you. I definitely think that what transitioning teachers get so scared about is the fact that they need to start doing instructional design, which it looks different than what they were used to. But then also now I have to learn all of these tools and all of these skills and understand e-learning and know how to make a video and do this and do that. And it's really overwhelming. But I'm here to tell you there's a lot of jobs out there out in instructional design or in training and development that can get your foot in the door that are not related to the tools. So maybe you're a training coordinator, right? Or maybe you're an LMS administrator just to get your foot in the door. And then you can pick up through freelancing and side gigs and things like that, the skills that you need in order to build your e-learning. Or if you are only doing e-learning and you want to do more actual instructional design and do needs analysis and do a blueprint and things like that, you can do that through freelancing and picking up side projects. And it helps to build your portfolio. I know that's another real big concern is,
well, all of my work is proprietary because it was from my full-time job, so I can't build my portfolio.
Well, you can utilize your freelance stuff and put that on your portfolio because you can stipulate that in your contract, right? Say, hey, we're going to work on this e-learning together. Do you mind if I put this on my portfolio? And I can use a snippet and I will take out any of the proprietary information in your name, but I want to be able to use, a piece of it for my portfolio. You can stipulate that because that's the cool thing about being a freelancer is you're the boss. You're the one that's driving the relationship. You're the one that's driving the way that things are going to go. It's such a different experience as an internal employee versus being the boss, being the one that really gets to drive how the relationship is going to work. And you're able to drive the process, which you're not really able to do as often when you are starting out as a salaried employee. I will also tell you this, that when I had my resume, I did have a section on my resume for self-employment. So, and it talked about the things that I did as an instructional design consultant. And I was able to pad my resume in with different skills and talk about the different skills that I had learned or the different results I was able to achieve for my clients through my freelance work, right? And through my contract work. So it's just additional ways to build up your resume when you maybe are not getting the full scope of what you want to be doing as an instructional designer or as a learning and development professional in your full-time job. I'm going to also tell you this. Freelancing gave me business skills that I definitely never had as a salaried employee. I honestly think differently because I freelanced, because I was a contractor, because I had to be the one who drove the relationship, drove the process. Sometimes I look at some of my clients and I love them. And they'll tell me, yeah, I was an instructional designer, in my past life. They will work with Anchor Training and they'll say, your process is incredible. Like it's putting like my previous process to shame. And I share with them, your process was probably fine. You were probably a good instructional designer. Like I'm seeing the work that you're doing now, like it's good. It's the fact that when you are a salaried employee, very often if a SME does not get back to you for a week, it's like, okay, you kind of have to like roll with it. You can't put as much pressure. But when you are a contractor and when you're a freelancer, you're actually able to really push more of the boundaries to really have the client stick to your process because you're able to say, okay, well, if I don't hear back from you in a week, then we're going to have to push the timeline on your project, or it's now gone out of scope, so we're going to need to do a change order because now I need to hold resources for longer because we are not pushing forward on your project. Or I'll say, we'll have to change the contract and do a change of scope because we're holding this time for you and we're not getting what we need from you. So I'm sorry, we're going to have to charge you those hours, and anything after that is going to have to be an additional cost. When you tell someone that something's going to be an additional cost because their people are doing something, you'd be surprised how fast their people start to do stuff. You don't have that much leverage when you are a salaried employee. So it's definitely given me skills and business skills that I definitely wouldn't have had. And I would have probably built it in the future, and relationship skills, those would have come through different roles and things like that. But it made me grow up faster in the corporate world because I was freelancing and because I was working with clients directly. It also forced me to work with clients directly. And I didn't always have someone to go to be like my bodyguard. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when I would work full time, I would say, well, you know what? If I'm having an issue, I could just go to my manager. But when it's your company or your contract, you don't have a manager to go to deal with it. It's up to you to figure out how you're going to deal with it. And I think there's just so much value in building up those skills. And the other thing about freelancing, it helps me relate to my clients. If you're interested in getting started in freelancing, but you're not sure where to start, don't do what I did and just figure it out. I have a new program that is geared for instructional designers that want to start freelancing. It's called Destination ID. We're going to be working hand in hand starting August 3rd, talking about how to get your freelance career as an instructional designer up and running. This is great for those of you that want to start that side hustle to help kind of recession-proof your career and find ways to meet new people that are in the same boat as you, other instructional design freelancers, to help learn from each other. I know that there's so many communities out there that are amazing, but sometimes they don't always hit the mark because everyone's doing their own thing, right? Some people are instructional designers that are in salaried, employees. Some are freelancers. Some do this and some do that. Some work with agencies, all these different things. But this program is just for instructional designers that are looking to freelance so we can work off of each other, so we can learn from each other. And because we all know that we're going through very similar things, we're able to leverage other people's experiences to make our path a little bit smoother. Listen, can you learn everything that I'm going to teach you in Destination ID through your own work or through LinkedIn Learning and by just the Googler? Yeah, you absolutely can. But wouldn't it be so much more satisfying to have a roadmap to help you get there so you know you're on the right path using the roadmap that I used to get here, right? To build this amazing business that's just growing bigger and bigger by the day. That's actually creating work that I love, that I actually want to put my name towards. How many times do you create stuff that you don't want to put your name towards it? Well, this is going to be that roadmap. This is going to be that map for you that helps you get there. We're going to be talking about things like your resume, your portfolio, community. How do you navigate working with clients? How do you navigate all of the things, the LLCs, the 1099s, the business insurance, the this and that? We are going to be working together through all of that. So friends, if you're looking to build a community, you want to learn more, click the link down below for more information about Destination ID that's starting August 3rd. I'll check you all out on the pool deck. Friends, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.